Okay, here's my question. I've been following a lot of the policy or committee meetings, not just policy, and I'm hearing a lot about really wanting to tone down the public's voice during the regular school board meetings. And one thing I keep hearing a lot is that people should be encouraged to communicate by email. Now, I try not to email too often because I respect that I'm just one person and there's a whole bunch of other people. And but there have been a lot of times I've emailed in the past, 4 or 5 years where I get maybe one reply from one person. When I was teaching, it was standard procedure to reply as quickly as possible, but definitely not longer than 24 hours. And I've seen replies that have been sent to other people that have kind of said, I'm not going to answer your email because I'm busy. So if you're going to encourage people to communicate more via email, then what are you going to do on your side to let the person asking the question know that you read their email and what you're going to do about it?
Ms. Bradford?
I don't think people understand the volume of what we get. For example, there were 500 and some questions that we had to read just for this. Do you know how long it takes to read them and comprehend them and think about those 500 questions? So when we get 500 emails in a day, some of you email 2 or 3 times a day, it's a lot to respond to every one of those people. I'm sorry. There's no point in engaging with the 99th person that's talking about the same thing and they're using the form email that somebody sent around for them to send out. But the volume, Mr. McManus told me when I was running, you're not prepared for what's going to happen. It's an enormous quantity of email that we get. Do we read them all? We hope so. But do we respond to everyone? We'd have to triple the time zones. There's just not enough time in every day to respond to every single email that we get. I'm sorry, it's just a fact of life. They're just not.
Mr. McManus.
I guess my wife's probably looking to see what I say and listening. I try to respond to all of my emails. I think some people have heard that I do respond. But if your email is threatening, or if you're using profanity, or you're being nasty in any shape, form, or fashion, I don't respond. Now, that's an exception to the rule. Doesn't happen a lot. But I do try to respond. And I spend hours a day. But when I ran for the board, I'm walking my talk when I was a principal. Visibility, accessibility, and listening. Even if I disagree with you or you disagree with me, we still need to have that exchange. And so I try to respond. I don't know if any of you out there in that group I respond to, but I try. And it does. It takes hours. Matter of fact, I have lost time with my family, but I made a commitment and I'm going to continue to do it. But it takes time and it's not easy. We meet all the time. We're on the phone all the time. We can't have more than 3 on the phone one time. We can't have a meeting with more than 3 because we're trying not to break state law or someone to stand up and say, oh, by the way, 4 of you meeting. If there are 4 of you meeting, I don't care what you're talking about, you're breaking basically the perception 4 people are meeting. So I understand, and I did tell Ms. Bradford, I said, you don't have a clue what you're getting into as far as the time element. So I just have to share. And I think most people try to respond, but it is impossible. It's very tough if you just don't take time away from what you are used to doing.